you, but I have a strong aversion to conflict. And you know what? I'm not alone. And it makes sense, doesn't it? Conflict avoidance is common among ministry leaders. We want to help. We want to serve. We want to love. You know, our rally call is, can't we just get along? We've got kingdom work to do. But there will be issues. And the issues that cause conflict on a leadership team will vary. But most likely they'll come under one of several categories. Goals. It can be the result of differing goals or priorities among team members. Miscommunication. It can result because a leader does not identify or explain expectations. Conflict can come as a result of personality because there's just not a lack or there is a lack of chemistry between two people, or an inability to find an effective way to relate to another person. It can be a result of resources. It can come from competition over scarce resources, or the allocation of resources seems unfair. Conflict can be a result of differing styles, communication styles, thinking styles. And it can be a result of values. Conflict is usually more than a differing of opinions, but differing values. I think we can agree that conflict is unavoidable. As we work together on a leadership team, it's just going to happen. As leaders, we need to view two things as non-negotiable when it comes to conflict. One, address conflict quickly. And two, address conflict face to face when possible. Jesus taught us to address conflict head on. Listen to his words from Matthew 18:15 through 17. If your brother or sister sins, go and point their fault just between the two of you. If they listen to you, you have won them over. But if they will not listen, take one or two others along, so that every matter may be established by the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses. If they still refuse to listen, tell it to the church. And if they still refuse to listen, even to the church, treat them as you would a pagan or tax collector. This passage in Matthew is not about broken and damaged relationships. It's about guarding and keeping relationships. All through Matthew 18, Jesus teaches the principles of discipleship and conflict resolution. In Matthew 18:1 through 5, he's asked about who will be the greatest. How many conflicts would be avoided if we had the proper perspective of our own importance? Sisters, it's not about our own greatness. Let's look further in Matthew through the lens of conflict resolution. In Matthew 18:6 through 9, Jesus cautions against causing anyone to sin. How many conflicts would be avoided if we maintained a healthy abhorrence to sin? One of my seminary professors, Dr. Lori O'Day, put it this way: I need to be more disgusted with sin than I am in having my own way. It reminds me of the verse in James chapter 4, verses 1 through 2. What causes fights and quarrels among you? Don't they come from your desires that battle within you? You want something, but you don't get it. In Matthew 18:10 through 12, Jesus talks about a shepherd going to look for the one sheep that is lost. The 99 were important, but the one that wandered away was worth search and rescue. And just like this shepherd in ministry, we must always operate with a missional mindset, looking at every situation with redemption as the goal. Sue Edwards and Kelly Matthews, in their book Leading Women Who Wound, declare that we can become skilled peacemakers if we follow the steps Jesus taught in Matthew 18:15 through 17. But they caution that it won't be easy. Here's how they break down the steps. Step 1, go and show. Allow me to paraphrase the scripture for our purpose. If your sister sins, go and show her her fault when the two of you are alone. If she listens to you, you have regained your sister. This directive is given to believers with the initiative taken by the one who is offended. If someone wounds you, you are to go to her. Author Denise Van Eck encourages these considerations before such a crucial confrontation. She says, first of all, pray. Ask the Lord to help you prepare for the conversation and confrontation. 2, clarify your purpose. Do you have a need for everyone to know you're in charge? Is there a need to get your way? For confrontation to be effective, the purpose must be to find the truth. 3, begin with empathy. Empathy is that ability to understand and share the feelings of another person. Empathy opens a pathway for understanding to occur. And so when you prepare for a difficult conversation, ask yourself if in some way you can put yourself in the other person's shoes. Is this a matter of taste or truth? Are you upset about a situation because you don't like it? Or is there something that is truly wrong and needs to be corrected? Another point she makes is to clarify the issue. Try to narrow down the central issue to one word. Is the issue trust, confidence, competence? When confronting a situation, the temptation that we have is to list a smorgasbord of issues, which makes us go down rabbit trails which are dangerous because they cloud the issues that you need to address. You've got to be honest with yourself. Have you contributed to the conflict? Is the issue that bothers you in another person something you see in yourself? You need to look ahead to the future consequences. What will be the result if this issue is not addressed? Will you be part of shaping the future in a positive way by this confrontation? She goes on to say we need to let go of control. Remember, you cannot control what another person thinks, feels, or believes. And also, you need to initiate the conversation. Be the grown-up and act. Go as soon as there is a question or concern. Another point is to keep the circle small. Contain the issue so it doesn't become a bigger issue. The more people involved, the more challenging the resolution. So then what's the next step that Jesus says to take? Take witnesses. Scripture says, but if she does not listen, take 1 or 2 others with you so that at the testimony of 2 or 3 witnesses, every matter may be established. Witnesses can provide emotional safety. They provide accountability and insight as they listen and observe. And the presence of others most often serves as a motivator to seek a positive rather than a negative result. So agree together who those witnesses will be with the goal to bring in people who will be helpful. And then step 3, take it to the church. If she refuses to listen to them, tell it to the church. If she refuses to listen to the church, treat her like a Gentile or a tax collector. Edwards and Matthews suggest that if we follow the instructions of Jesus, no more than 4 or 5 people should be aware of the conflict. And prayerfully, that small number can find a peaceful solution and a way to move forward. But what if that does not happen? The issue must be confronted by leadership, and in the case of PWOC, that would be the chaplain sponsor. The challenge as we lead in our home, ministry, context, and community is to learn another language, the language of peace and resolution. The choice in conflict is not to fight to the death. There's a better way. Ephesians 4:3 admonishes us to make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. Oh, sisters, may it be so as you lead.